Empaths don't just have the mother wound. Empaths have mama, drama, trauma.
The great mother, Father God, a divine child of the great mother, Father God.
Hi, I'm Tammy Taylor, an inner work life coach specializing in mama, drama, trauma. MDT, a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. It's really a spiritual trauma. I approach it as a spiritual illness, and I work with it as a spiritual healer. I want to talk to you today about doing what's best for you. Doing what is best for us as empaths is very difficult because we feel the feelings of others, often making us unable to distinguish our emotions from others. And as a result, it's not only codependence or enmeshment with trauma, but there is an ongoing, continuous sense of an identity crisis, not really knowing who we are and what we want. So that makes it difficult to do what's best for us. We really don't know. We're always seeing things through the lens of others. Let's talk about this as it relates to living in loving detachment from our mothers in a way that we actually authentically know and feel we are doing what is best for us. The first thing is, in our relationships, there is always an underlying, unequivocal, unquestionable sense of mutual respect. And by mutual, I mean that we feel a connection with our mothers, a mother bond, and we deeply resonate with who she is, what her needs are, what makes her feel happy, healthy, and whole. That is how we identify our happiness, our health, and our wholeness. And there's a respect for our mother's needs. We feel that there is a respect for our needs as well. And so that's the foundation that we have in our relationships, regardless of how others or the situation may look from the outside. That is how we feel, because empaths are old souls. We have had many lifetimes and many experiences where we have learned unconditional love. And regardless of what the conditions may be of abandonment and abuse, we overlook that and intuitively connect with the soul who has taken on the responsibility that we can relate to as an old soul. Having been a mother many times ourselves, there's a sense of compassion there. You see why this is a spiritual disease? We can't even really address the basic core of our issues without addressing the soul aspect, the spiritual aspect of our relationship. So now that we've done that and we know that we have this soul connection, what happens when we are in an abandoning and abusive situation over a prolonged period of time, as Ian Levanzit says, persistent and consistent abuse renders us unconscious. And so as individuals who feel the feelings of others, we connect with this disconnect, shall we say, that our mothers have with us due to her own experience of MDT in most cases, because MDT is a cycle. Now, she may or may not be an empath. In many cases, she is herself. And we connect with her feeling of disconnection from the world in order to protect herself. And so that is the coping mechanism that we develop that eventually, over consistent and persistent experience of abandonment and abuse, becomes our defense mechanism to protect ourselves in a world that we have very little protection from, with this constant sensitivity, this high sensitivity that we have as empaths. Now, highly sensitive people, that is an actual term. All highly sensitive people are not empaths, but all empaths are highly sensitive people. Looking at the foundation of our relationship, as we grow and as we mature and experience trauma, soul dissociation as a result of the consistent and persistent abandonment and abuse, we come to a decision point. We have to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to handle the situation in order to release the tension that has built up over time. You know, there's only so much stress the body can take. There's only so much stress the mind can take. And there does come a point where we have to acknowledge the pain and decide what we're going to do. Decision being, are we going to shift how we interact with our mothers, or are we going to remain in the same pattern? That shifting is a continuum from anything from establishing basic emotional and spatial boundaries to no contact. In my experience of no contact, that was an extremely excruciating decision to make. But throughout my experience, I found that regardless of what the shift is, it is a very difficult process. And so in doing what's best for us, the first thing we have to realize is that this is a pattern. We are not alone. All of us go through this. And when we come to this decision point, we really have to feel that we have a system in place or an ideology that we can trust enough to be confident in making the right decision, not just for us, but because we're empaths, what's doing best for us is also feeling that what's right for us is good for both of us, mother and child. And so how do we do that? That is what the Mama Drama Trauma Healing Oracle deck is designed to do. It is designed to support us every step of the way with the loving, compassionate, nurturing, supportive guidance of Great Mother, the mother of all mothers, and our angels, guides, and ancestors come through in every reading. So that's what the card posts every day are about, are for you to become more and more familiar with your deck and with the card meanings. And they do change and shift, not the core and the essence of the meaning, but where they are in your spread, depending on what your inquiry is for that particular day. Because these are long days of connecting with our intuitive higher self in order to get the guidance that we need to display the grace, mercy, self-mothering, reparenting that we need to be healthy, happy, and whole. This deep respect and this deep mutual understanding that we have with one another is deserving of mercy and grace. That's the number one reason that we don't make the choice for so long. We don't even entertain what's best for us for so long, because we don't realize that we're going into a cycle. It's not going to be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, this is my decision, and I'm no contact all of a sudden. It took me 18 years to develop a healthy no contact relationship with myself and with my mother. And so it takes time. Now that's the extreme. And on the other extreme, it may take several months or a couple of years on average. In my experience, it takes about 3 years to develop a healthy emotional relationship and shifting that energy from abandonment and abuse to one where we can be in our mother's presence. We can exchange with our mothers in a way that we don't feel belittled and dismissed, because that's what happens when we come to this acknowledgement that something needs to shift. It may not be the first thing we do, but again, eventually over a period of time of the abandonment abuse, we do eventually attempt to address the situation with our mothers, and we bring up our needs, or we bring up how our needs have shifted, and we would like our relationship to be different in ways that we aren't experiencing the abandonment and abuse. And 10 times out of 10, when the mother is not in her own healing process, there will always be dismissal. There will always be a disregard. There will always be a lack of respect and appreciation for what you're asking for and the shift that you're needing. And so again, this is not just you, this is the process. And so when we're at that point, it's so painful, and without the guidance, we don't know what to do. At that point is when we acknowledge this is a loving relationship. This is my strongest bond in the world. What I need to do moving forward is going to take more than just one decision to make. What I need to do is something that is going to impact my entire life, perhaps my entire lifestyle for a long time. And so I need to give myself the time to make that decision in a way that is not just right for me, but is good for both of us, and settle into that reality that there's an end goal, that there will be a decision, but from here to there will be a process and a series of decisions to get us there. If you have any questions or any issues that you would like to talk about with regard to your deck and your readings, this is what this channel is for. Always a home for empaths with MDT. Thanks for watching. And again, as always, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.